Hello Year 7 and welcome back to your first lesson of English after Easter. We are starting a new topic and we are going to be looking at the poetry of childhood over the next few weeks. So I hope you've had a nice restful break and are ready to get started. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be looking at a range of poems all to do with the theme of childhood. So work your way through the lessons in the order they're put up on Show My Homework and make sure you send any work you do through to your class teacher. If you've got any queries, questions or issues, please ask me or Miss MacArthur. We will email you back as soon as we can. Make the most of your hour for English and do as much of the lessons as you can. If you are struggling, please let us know and we will try our best to work something out so that it makes a lot more sense for you. So firstly, we are going to start today by thinking about the theme of childhood. And the first thing that you need to do is decide, do you think it is better to be a child or an adult, and why? Make sure that you write your answer in full sentences and explain your reasons, because we want to know what you think before we start looking at any poems to do with childhood. So once you've made your decision and you've written your sentences, what we'd like you to do is create a mind map of as many things that you can think of that link to the word childhood. So I've already put playing on mine and I've already got going to bed early. Aim to add at least 5 more words or phrases to this mind map. Once you've got a complete mind map, have a think. Do these words create a generally positive or negative image of childhood, and why? What do those words make you think of? Once you've finished that, if you're feeling up to it, have a go at the challenge and come up with a definition for the term connotation. Connotation is a literary term that we are going to use a lot as we talk about poetry. So see if you can come up with a definition for that. And have a think, how could you use our new term connotation to explain your ideas about childhood? Now, a lot of the poems that we look at over the next few weeks will be reflecting on the poet's experiences of childhood and the events that happened in their own lives. One of the major events that everybody experiences is starting primary school. What we'd like you to do is think back to the day you started primary school and choose one memorable moment to describe. So, for example, I might describe the moment my mum waved goodbye to me as the school bus left, or walking into my classroom for the first time and not knowing quite where to sit. You should include as much detail as you can in your description, so lots of adjectives. Paint a picture with your words. I would also like you to think about the adjectives that you are using and are they creating a positive or a negative tone? So for example, you might describe your classroom as bright and airy, which to me is quite a positive description. Or you might talk about a gloomy, damp corner of the playground, which suggests to me that perhaps you didn't have a very positive experience on your first day of primary school. Make sure you check your spelling, punctuation and grammar, because it is super important that we're not forgetting the basics, even though you are doing this work at home. Okay, we've had a few pieces of work handed in that have been lacking in capital letters and full stops. So please, guys, remember the basics. It's really, really important. Now that you've got a lovely detailed paragraph about a memorable moment from your first day of school, have a go at answering these reflection questions. They're going to start us thinking about why certain events are more memorable than others and the kind of impact that they might have on us as we grow up. What sort of thing might an adult want to write about from their childhood? Start with the open circled bullet points and work your way up to the arrows. If you're in the V or W stream, you should be completing all the questions, but try and challenge yourself to do as many as you can within the time that you have got. Finally then, have a think back to everything that we have looked at today and give one reason that you think childhood would be a good topic to write poetry about. Over the next few days, we are going to be looking at poetic techniques and having a bit of a revision on those before we start looking at a poem later in the week. Now, I know you've got a lot of work on, so do as much of this lesson as you can within the time frame, and any questions, please do just email us. Work hard and send your class teacher the work that you do. I'm sure they'll be really, really excited to see it. Get in touch if you've got any issues, and I will see you soon.